You guys speaking. They should never gave me TikTok back again because I'm not gonna get off of it. I'm just sitting here reading about self Reiki. And it was originated in Japan, right? A lot of the like Buddhism is not Japan. Buddhism is India, because Buddhism is connected to Hinduism, right? Yeah, that's India. All of that karma, dharma, reincarnation, all that is derived from Indian culture. So when you talk about karma, that's why I say, this is why I say religion, because you have Christians talking about that karma gonna get you. So what are you talking about, right? Hinduism, they do worship gods. In Buddhism, don't give me the line. Buddhism don't worship God. Buddhists don't worship God. And honestly, I haven't really delved too much into Buddhism. I think it's smart to learn about them all. Anybody ever asked themselves, why do they just claim things so deep and then they just want to argue it to the death of them and it was here before them? Why do we do that? That's so ostracizing. That's so like, but look at this. I'm about to go back to Buddhism, but look at this. Okay, here it's showing the principles of Reiki, right? It says the Reiki principles were created to help us shift our perspective. Who don't need that? Live in the moment and love and respect ourselves and others. I don't understand why people, anyway. Aim to recite them every morning and evening for 5 minutes each. This requires patience. Who don't need some patience? Okay, let me stop. Let me stop interrupting. But it will help you live mindfully and create more positive outcomes. For example, by saying do not anger, you can let the anger surface, consciously observe it, and then let the feeling pass. Wow. In this way, you can understand it is only the ego that wants us to hold on to things that do not serve our true selves. As you practice, keep a journal of any emotions, messages, and changes that arise. So this is do not anger is one of the principles. Do not worry. Be grateful. Work with diligence. And be kind to yourself and others. It says saying this at the beginning of each principle reminds us to be in the present moment. So you say just for today, do not anger. This principle helps you discover what lies beneath your anger and find out more helpful ways to express negative emotions. Powerful, no? Let's look at gratitude. Counting even our smallest blessings every day rewires the mind positively. Who doesn't want that? Sometimes I'm thinking of somebody right now and saying, Jesus is Lord. Nobody cares about Hare Krishna. She always says that, and I never knew what the fuck she was saying. She just kept saying Hare Krishna. But I guess she's saying, who's Hare Krishna? That's the Quran. No. Is that Hinduism? Hold on. Okay, it is Hinduism, and I think is the 8th incarnation of the Hindu god, Vinsu. I believe I'm saying that right. I don't know, but I was just learning that in school. We were talking about early civilization, and they were talking about, what is it, Mesopotamia? Is that how you call it? And even before then, archaeologists finding the first fossils and things of human beings, and then how civilization evolved. And in order to evolve in civilization, people have to be there. And what moves a civilization? Is it religion? Do they depend more on the resources, on their armies, on their whatever, and a lot of people went to spirituality. So this is where religion and stuff come from, and people just believe different things. Some people tied religion to their blessings. A lot of us do that now, right? Like I always say that, like, I feel like God is like blessing me if I make right decisions. I say that all the time, and it's just me looking into myself and looking at patterns. And that's what I study most, is myself. I don't really study a lot of religion. I do look into it. I'm not biased, and that scares people. When the video I just posted, you seen my tarot, you seen the Bible. Well, it's a interpretation of the Bible. It's an amplified version. But you see Buddhism, you see Reiki. I have some other stuff up there. I don't have a Quran. I had a Quran. Where the fuck is my Quran? But I have like 4 Bibles. But where's my Quran? I thought I had one. Maybe I don't have one. I don't have one. But you look into it all, because when you really think about it, whatever you believe, how were you introduced to it? Probably through your family, probably through whatever. And then some people say, yeah, I don't do what my family do. Now I'm this, and this is what I found by myself. And if it wasn't the first thing that was indoctrinated to you, it was the second or third thing. I just don't think you should stick any place. I was just in somebody's life, makes amazing jewelry. Oh my God, with the crystals and the copper, his jewelry is beautiful. He even has his crown made with the copper, and then it has a stuff. I want that crown. Then had the bracelet. I really want to order the bracelet. And he was saying, I don't know, he said he was the same life path number as me, life path 11. So that means that we're teachers. We're healers. That's where I think my life is going in the future. I don't say that a lot. because I'm just trying to be open and surrender. And honestly, sometimes life proves to me that it's hard to focus on peace, but I got to find time to do these things. I got to find time to meditate because it's my purpose. It's my calling, right? I have to, if I want to evolve the way I'm supposed to, you know what I'm trying to say. But going this live and he's just so mean. People asking him questions and he's just blocking them left and right. And I'm like, it's because they're not saying the things that you want them to say. And he's like, see, I know by the question that you asked that you're this and you're not in alignment with me. So that's a boundary that's making us can't communicate. Why can't you communicate? Maybe to somebody I sound stupid because they're like, oh, you can't mix this. Like, according to this. Maybe I didn't read something that said according to something you can't talk to certain people. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that far yet. And if I find something that says that, then I'll start saying that. If it makes sense, then I'll start. But I just don't think being closed-minded, ostracizing people is a way of anything. When you look, like, they worship gods in Hinduism, Christianity. You know, some people have many gods, some people have one god. Buddhism doesn't worship anybody. And I'm going to finish it on that note. Hold on one second. When I talk about Buddhism or I read anything about Buddhism, honestly, it always just makes me smile. I listen to podcasts with Buddhists speaking. It makes me smile to my core because I fuck with this shit. You feel me? So I'm going to read a little bit. And first I want to say Buddhism represents everyone's potential for awakening. Who doesn't like that? I mean, everyone. No one is left out. Amazing, no? So the question is, what is Buddhism? I'm not here to be all preachy, but if you care, stay. What is Buddhism? Buddhism is one of the world's greatest religions. Behind Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism, it is the fourth most followed religion in the world. The question might be raised, is Buddhism a religion at all? Let's see. Religion or philosophy? Can you have a religion without a God? Let's stop there. Can you have a religion without a God? I don't think you can, because religion means that you are worshiping a God, no? What's the technical definition of religion? I'm not going to look at it right now, but just because I just want to answer that question before I keep reading, I would say no. Oh, that's what a God is. A supreme being that created the world and intervenes in the lives of his or her creatures. Okay. I love how they put or her. You see, I fuck with Buddha. Say God might be a her to a Christian. But you got women out here devoting their lives to never mind. I'm not gonna that's not what accepting everybody is about. Talking about other people is not what accepting means. So I'm not gonna talk about them. See, I learned something already. It appears that Buddhism can be considered a non-theistic, how do you say that? Non-theistic. Theistic. We'll just say that. According to Buddhist scholar Damien Cohen, why do you keep trying to give me difficult words? When it was considered along 7 dimensions common to religion, these dimensions include practical and ritual. That's number 1. Number 2 is experimental and emotional. 3 is narrative and mythic. 4 is doctrinal and philosophical. 5 is ethical and legal. 6 is social and institutional. And 7 is material. You can embrace Buddha without embracing Buddhism. Okay? Buddha requires no beliefs, no affiliations, and therefore doesn't conflict with your own belief system, whether you are devoutly religious or atheist. Buddha's teachings are universal, transcending time and culture. Don't you look so inclusive? If you have a mind, then Buddha is relevant to you. Come on, Buddha for the win. Buddhism for the win. I mean, and I'm not saying that, I'm just going to be Buddhist, but anytime I've ever heard anything about Buddhism since I was younger, and it's been here and there, and sometimes I listen, what is his name? Think of his name. I listen to like 2-hour-long podcasts from this man, and I love it. He has a sense of humor. He's kind. Everything he says makes sense. I'm going to find his name right now so I can tell you. Yeah, they're monks. So they're Buddhist monks. Their names are the ones that I listen to sometimes. And I just find their, when people interview them, I find them to be interesting. I'll put them on in the morning while I'm cleaning and stuff. But one is named, I just wish hope I'm saying this right. Radharswami and Sadhguru. And the podcast that I listen to a lot is Jay Shetty. He has a lot of people on there, not just monks. He's just an intelligent guy. He actually used to be a monk. And he had a very interesting episode with Will Smith, where Will Smith is also studying all the religions, and getting in tune with self. Like, Buddhism, like, I want to get more into it now. Like, I'm at a space now where I'm about to start studying it. Is it the only thing that I'm going to study right now? Yes, because it's the first. I'm just delving into it right now, but I'm open. What intrigues me about Buddhism is that it's so inclusive. It's just so inclusive. I just read you a piece that was just so inclusive. And it doesn't focus on learning something and then ostracizing other people. You're only responsible for self and how you show up in this world, and gaining understanding through wisdom by getting in touch with your inner self through meditation, through, even, what was it? Was it Eat, Pray, Love? That movie was it Sandra Bullock, and she went into, like, she put on a sticker and she couldn't talk. I would love to do that. Well, I can't talk. I might be tortured from you. I love to talk. But focusing on self, nobody else. You know what I mean? It's not a boastful type of religion. It's a very humble type religion. And it does derive from Hinduism. Like I said, Hinduism, they have gods that they worship. Buddhism is more of a philosophy.
Wealth of the heart is how we find something within ourselves that we want to give. And I know people who are extremely wealthy materially, and they express that joy by giving practically whatever they have for their family and for the society.
Jay Shetty, a former monk turned motivational speaker, has a unique perspective on authenticity. Jay Shetty's teachings on authenticity are rooted in self-discovery and self-awareness. Born and raised in London, Shetty spent his early 20s living as a monk across India and Europe. This experience profoundly shaped his perspective on life, authenticity, and purpose. Shetty believes that authenticity is a journey of self-discovery. It's not about fitting into the mold society has set for us, but rather about understanding our true selves and living in accordance with that knowledge. Authenticity, according to Shetty, is about peeling back the layers of societal expectations and conditioned responses to reveal the core of who we truly are. Guru emphasizes the importance of meditation in this process, as it provides a pathway to inner peace and self-realization. In essence, Sadhguru's teachings urge us to look within and live in harmony with the world around us. They invite us to peel back the layers of our conditioned selves to reveal the authentic being within. Authenticity, in Sadhguru's view, is not about conforming to an external standard or seeking approval from others. It's about living in alignment with our deepest truths and highest potential. For Sadhguru, authenticity is about being in tune with one's true self and the universe.